Good morning. We are live again. It is Jackie Glass, Mama, Navy Vet, Certified Doer, and your laced up legislator for the House of Delegates, 89th District. Yeah, I'm sitting in the car today. It's actually really nice walking weather, so I'm going to encourage you to get out, and I may get out and walk as well, but I'm waiting to make sure my teenager makes it out of the house and make sure that I don't have to drive someone to school. But gratitude, as you guys know, it is a beautiful Thursday, lot to cover, want to jump into it. I want to tell you, as always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please do not hesitate to drop them into the chat. We will respond to them. Some of you guys, I know you come back later and ask questions. I would love it if you have those questions that maybe you dropped a question on something that you watched a couple weeks ago and you really want an answer. Go ahead and put your question in our as a message, or you can go to the website and ask the question just to make sure that we get it, because oftentimes these live longer than we go back to them. So just if it's super important, super and it was live from many eons ago, please don't hesitate to drop us a line and say that you saw it live and you just want follow-up. Got it. So I think we should do some celebrating, right? We have our pillars, some celebrating. I wanted to send out a really warm, excited congratulations to you and your village, to Cameron David, and I hope I'm saying your name right, Ellsbury of Maury High School. Go ahead, Commodores. He was awarded $25,000 in college scholarships through the College Access Foundation, to the Access College Foundation. I think that's a program that many of us don't know about. Come on, let's do it. I'm working to get my son into it, really get them to take this, college thing seriously, or whatever the next pathway is. Shout out to the Newbie Foundation. This weekend I had the opportunity to go to the Dr. Newbie, well, I think it's Keith Newbie. I'm trying to make sure I say the foundation right. I know it's named after his father, but they hand-selected a handful of scholars at Booker T. Washington and are going to live this life cycle with them of getting them into career and technical ed. So some of them are going on to be medical assistants. Some of them are going some of them going on to be medical assistants. Some of them are going on to be mechanics, all different career fields. So there are so many opportunities and spaces and places for people to engage with our youth and get them on a pathway that's going to work, that's going to be a service to them and also a service to the community. Now, Cameron was on the front page of the newspaper. All right, now then I have an ask, right? I have a super big ask. There is a 15-year-old DJ named DJ JT. Amazing young man. He does a lot of work with Samaritan House and human trafficking. Actually, I've learned a lot through one of his events that he invited myself and a lot of other people to. Got a piece of legislation that I'm really excited about next year for children of human traffic and sexploitation. Something like, this is some areas that he's really bringing some things to light. This summer, he is partnering with 4Kids, which helps families with children experiencing homelessness. He's going to do a summer workshop for DJ. He's an amazing DJ. He actually DJ'd the Norfolk Can Fly event. He's a finger drummer. But what he's asking is he got 4 computers donated to his organization, Beats by JT, to help put on this music production summer camp for 4Kids. And I think he needs 4 or 5 more laptops or little computers. So if you have them, please reach out to us. We will get them to date, or you can go to his social media, beats_by_JT. Let him know that, I got this old laptop you can use. He's really just trying to be a great advocate. 15 years old, amazing support system, great village, just working to do better and be an added value to our own corner of the world. Okay, so one thing I like to do sometimes is go to the opinion pages in our local papers, and I saw 2 opinions, or one opinion that I thought I really wanted to shout out by Shaquita Hubbard in Newport News. What Shaquita talked about was during the pandemic, for Medicaid, there was this thing called the Consumer Direct Waiver, Appendix K, which allowed parents, guardians of folks or with that needed an attendant. It supplemented and temporarily paid them to be the attendant for the child or for the person. And she was saying, you know, her kids are autistic, and one of the toughest things to find always is childcare. And I just want to shout out her taking the time to do that opinion article. Childcare is huge on my radar. I don't have legislation, but I will have some opportunities that I think at the state level could trickle down into communities that would make childcare what it is. It is an amazing business. It is a means to create more entrepreneurs while also solving a social problem. And so unfortunately, I think we have a culture that looks at childcare as just people watching kids. You know, it is not a social service. It is a social enterprise that we need. It's a business structure that we need. So thank you, Shaquita, for doing that. Also wanted to shout out Christina Birdsong, who put in, wrote a little piece about pedestrian safety, and also shout out Elena Daria, who is on the Walk and Bicycle Pedestrian Commission. I'm putting that out there because these commissions are so important as they liaison with the local government on how we do business. There is a high school, a young lady that goes to Booker T that is still in not the best state from being hit by a car on Princess Anne. And so, like, pedestrian safety is something that we haven't necessarily talked about, but I think is critical as we move forward in making communities and upgrading communities in a space where they can be usable. I think about, Elena has got me really thinking about safe routes to school. Like, these things are super important. So I just want to thank, it's all hands on deck, as an article came out recently saying the amount of pedestrian fatalities and accidents that we had in our city have been up. So thank you to those two women leading the charge and making a way. Okay. So let's get to the state level stuff. So, as I mentioned last week, we are, waiting for the date to go back. We were told the 17th. Right? The 17th is next Friday. And then I was told the other day that it could be the 17th or the 20th that we go back to Richmond. I'm hoping it's not the 20th, because 20th is the observance of Juneteenth. It just wouldn't really make sense to take us back. Juneteenth is on Sunday. But as you know, that people got bored and said, yes, we will. Juneteenth is a real thing, because it has been. It is a real thing. And it was made a holiday. So it is being observed on Monday. So if we go back Monday, I may have a little bit of a problem with that. But hopefully it's next Friday. As I told you, the governor still has had 7 days to take action on all of the stuff we went up for last week. So all of the budget, all of the bills that were in conference, just keeping you guys on that. And know that we have already reached out to the governor's office about 2 amendments we would like him to make. We're asking him to take congressional out of Medal of Honor. People get that mixed up. That is a shout out to, I think his name is Steve Rice, and I'll get his name right. But Mr. Rice emailed us or put it on one of our lives. Hey, I went and read the legislation, and it says Congressional Medal of Honor. This is a common mistake. It's not right. It's just a Medal of Honor. Did my homework, did his homework. It's like, yes, people oftentimes make this mistake. We're going to try to get the governor to update the code, because that's what we do, right? We see a problem, we try to fix a problem, but we also want that military retirement tax fixed. So probably the biggest thing on not biggest, there are definitely bigger things, like my air conditioning is out on my first floor of my house, and the motor is burnt out, and we're waiting, and we've had 3 technicians come, right? Like, it's just, so we've got bigger things. But also in that same vein, right now, I suspect that when I go back to Richmond, that there will be something along the lines of the gas tax. Now, as you know, the GA did not, we did not agree to repeal or to do the gas tax holiday. Like, that was something that we did not do. And I want to just walk you through a little bit of that. So know that there were 2 taxes on the line, right? It was the gas tax and the grocery tax. And there was a large negotiation that myself had to do as to how I was going to vote about the gas tax and the grocery tax. And I sort of weighed what each of those meant. What happened was, and I do want to explain taxes for you guys in a bit, is that, like, understand that every tax, each dollar of that tax, whatever percentage that is, let's say it's a tax of 1%, and that 1% is $3, right? And that $3 is going to pay for your cell phone bill, right? The tax on, look, let me, the tax on this cap is a 3% tax. See, there's my son running up the street. He's running up. Didn't I say I started this? I'm sitting in the car just to make sure that my, look at here. These are moms, right? I said I'm sitting in the car right now just to make sure that the boy makes it. You see him running up the street. So y'all understand, right? We're real people out here. I'm almost going to guarantee that he's going to come back and say he needs a ride to school. That's why I sat here. I said it. So if you weren't with me when I started, that's why I'm sitting in the car. So let's go back to the tax. So I tax this cap 3%, which ends up being $3, so that I can pay for this cell phone bill, right? Now I pay for this cell phone bill, but I also pay for, I pay a piece of my light bill with it too, right? So that $3 tax is $1.50 is going to pay this phone bill. $1.50 is going, look at, he just came back. He ain't gonna make the bus. $1.50 is going to pay the light bill. Now, when I eliminate that tax, I eliminated the $1.50 that we're going to pay the phone bill and the $1.50 that we're going to pay the light bill. So what do? I can go and supplement that money elsewhere. Or I could say, well, you know what? What happens is it's like, yo, you got to find a way. And that's what ends up happening to local governments when we repeal these taxes, right? Is that they have to find a way. And so when I was looking at the two taxes, I looked at what they, there he goes running. I look at what they're paying for, and are we going to supplement them in other places? Now with the grocery tax, what happened was with the grocery tax, that was going to our schools and that was going to transportation. That school money with the grocery tax was supplemented elsewhere, right? Even if it was with imaginary money, it was still being supplemented. We knew that even if that grocery tax went away, we still were going to find a way to make sure that piece of money didn't impact our school systems, and we were going to make localities have to foot the extra bill for getting rid of the grocery tax, right? Second, the transportation piece did not find a place, right? We said that we did not find a place to supplement the transportation piece. So it's going to take a hit. When we're talking about potholes and we're talking about these things on the transportation piece are going to take a hit. Now, when I look at the gas tax, now the gas tax heavily funds transportation. Good morning, y'all. Heavily funds transportation. That's a problem. When I've already took money, right? I said part of that money, like with my phone bill, right? Part of that money, I got to figure this out. And so with the phone bill analogy, I'm going to start taxing this in order to pay for that. So like there's a push and pull. And so I did not vote for the gas tax holiday for the simple fact that we repealed the grocery tax, what I thought was more beneficial to more people, because not everybody can drive, right? I get the privilege of having a vehicle, but I know that we all got to eat, right? And if I could lower the costs for people being able to eat, then I'm going to vote to lower the cost for people to be able to eat. Because like I told you, I went to the grocery store the other day, bought a small bin. I take this little bucket with me, and it was $96 or $96 worth of groceries, and that thing was not full. I saw the bottom of the bucket still. So that's a real thing. But what's happening is when I go back, I suspect that's going to be the biggest story for you all, and you can provide your feedback. I would love to hear more from you guys on specifically these taxes. And I know the price at the pump is hurting, right? I filled up the other day. I choose to drive this big vehicle. I get it. It was $110, right? Like, I understand that. And so a point that we're at is the governor's going to make recommendations or vetoes, right? And what I suspect is this gas tax is really a hot thing for the executive branch. I think it's it would be a huge political win, but it'll also be a huge like face win, right? Like it's also a cosmetic win in a way, but we also will lose. And then we'll see the issue of when transportation isn't taken care of the way it needs to be, there'll be an issue. Realizing that if the governor, attached to that, what I see climate wise, just for you guys to understand the climate that we're dealing with right now, what I see is, you know, let's say he vetoes something, or he decides that, you know, he wants to present some other stuff, right? It takes 2/3 of a vote, right? So not a simple majority. We are the House of Delegates. We have how many members? How many members are in the House of Delegates? I want somebody to drop in the chat, because I know we've been doing this for many. How many members are there in the House of Delegates? I'm going to wait. Yeah, we in school today. How many folks are elected to the House of Delegates? And I'm pausing because I need somebody to put that in the chat. Come on. If fourth graders can do it, we can do it this morning. Oh, Charlene, there we go, Miss Charlene, 100, right? It's 100 members of the House of Delegates, y'all. I am number 100, last person to get elected. So a simple majority in the House of Delegates, right? A simple majority would be 51 votes, right? Simple majority. That's all it takes to pass a bill. If a bill gets 50-50, it does not pass because it did not get a majority. Okay? Everybody running late. Husband just left. Should have been gone 20 minutes ago. So this is one of them days. Okay. So simple majority. But when it comes to a veto, right, you need 2/3 a vote, right, to overturn anything that the governor decides to do. And I'm setting this up for you to understand the climate that we're working with right now. And that's a very tight, because we're such a very tight, in the Senate, it's really tight. I think it's like, 21-20, something like that over there. And we are 46 or 48-52 or something like that. Yeah, 48-52 split. 2/3 of the vote is much different from getting 51%. So vetoes are hard to overturn. Recognizing that the executive branch wants something really bad. They want this gas tax holiday. However, when it came to the last couple vetoes, he vetoed a lot of bipartisan. He vetoed a lot of bipartisan bills, which, when we look at company culture and your people say, hey, yeah, this is a good thing, right? When 100 of your people, right? And even if only 52 of them are your people, but all of them say, hey, this is a good thing, and you say no, as a leadership, as a new leader, right? Like I recognize that it sends a signal. And so, what I recognize with those vetoes is that the executive branch isn't really listening to their people. And even politically, when we want to toe a line, that does wear on you, especially if you got some experiences. There's some really knowledgeable people that sit on the left side of the room and that sit on the right side of the room. And part of what's happening with the executive branch is there's some alienation happening. You're messing with company culture, right? And sometimes that's a good thing, and sometimes it's not, because when we look at sort of governance, it is a level of consensus building, right? Pulling people together, but it's also base building, right? If we had more people, right? Democrats are in the minority. If we had more people, we would be able to do different things. So it's not just about getting along with people on the other side of the room. It's about bringing more people to the table. So there's a piece to that. So I just want you to know that, like, as we talk about this, like, as we sort of, I would not be, I would not be doing you all a service if I didn't help you understand the dynamics of what's happening. And we're just in the first year of this, right? Is that right now our executive branch is having a difficult time sort of negotiating with his people. At least it appears so, as, like I said, a lot of vetoes happen. And that can be really be telling for what we're going to see in the future. I was watching a masterclass with Bob Iger, who it was the CEO of Disney, and they were merging with Pixar. And he talked a lot about how there's company culture. When they were merging with Pixar, Steve Jobs owned Pixar, and one of the biggest threats that Disney thought was that Steve was going to come in and he was going to be a massive shareholder. He was going to take over, and it was going to be bad for the company, right? But they sat down. He sat down with Steve, and they had this conversation about the pros and the cons outweighed the pros, right? The cons outweighed the pros, but Steve still did the merger. Pixar still merged, because what Steve said, even though there were only 3 pros and there were a massive amount of cons, those pros outweighed the cons. And I think many people were hopeful, even though that they were not voters for what the executive branch was. They were hopeful that, hey, maybe we'll see some balance here. But what we're seeing, we're not seeing that. So we're going to need a lot of participatory work with you all to do things that we can make happen, whether it's public-private partnerships outside the confines of the state or even local government, to see the change that we want to see. I'm just saying that. Because as it pertains to the leadership piece, there's only so much that one of 100 can do inside that room, but there's millions and many things that we can do with public-private partnerships outside of that room. We don't have to be permissive. So let's move forward from that place. And I truly do look forward to doing the good work with you all. She said, I know I'm biased. I know that I'm biased, but he made an unexperienced rookie move by veto and by party. And I agree. And I just want to make that note, is that what Charlene's saying is that, the executive branch made a sort of rookie move. Being in business and being in governance, it's two different things. That they made a rookie by veto and bipartisan bills. What it did was, again, it said to your people, especially like we said, the question was, if there was 100 people, there's 100 people in the House, and 100 people said, hey, this is great. This is a good thing. We need to do it. And you're like, no, that does something to both sides. So realizing that, that should signal to us what's happening. But also, like I said, governance is about consensus building, but it's about base building. It's both. And so we have a responsibility as we roll through this next year. And then in 2023, we have another set of elections that we are trying to bring more like-minded people to the table, and it's going to be an uphill battle. And why this was important contextually to the gas tax conversation is because if this passes, that will be a huge win for the outside for the executive branch. But the inside of the people, right? When I told you about how that money is spent, when we start seeing issues with transportation, it's going to be a real problem. And y'all going to look at me, as you should, as a participant of this process, and say, why the roads getting worse? Why that project been going on forever and ever and ever and ever and ever? Why? Like, when that stuff starts coming and we say, hey, that temporary, that paid for this, or this. I just will not. I'm just telling you all up front, if it comes back and we have to vote on it again, I will not be voting for the gas tax. I won't be doing it. I do believe that we need relief. And I do believe that we should be putting in money in your pockets for relief. And as I said, there will be some tax rebates coming at the end of the year straight to your pockets. But especially with this gas situation, there should be money going directly to folks impacted by this situation. And I think we could have been working on that from the beginning, right? Rather than our side coming up with a plan and then them sticking with that plan. We should be realistic as to the needs of you all. Right? I'm looking at the time, making sure I got all the things. I'm going to flip to local stuff. So if you have any questions on that, don't hesitate. Y'all know there was a fire on the Spirit. I'm sure it's shifting. Y'all going real fast. The fire on the Spirit of Norfolk, y'all really give it out to the first responders. No joke, right? First response is no joke for getting out there. Hopefully we'll see, find out exactly what that was and get the damages, sooner than later. What am I saying? Oh, REACH. Okay, now full disclosure, I am on the board for Reading Enriches All Children, REACH. They are volunteering to do work for Harbor Fest, like the drink stuff, and they need a ton of volunteers. A ton. I'm just saying, this is super important. I've connected. Reach is one of, when I was operating as a civic league president at the beginning of the pandemic, Reach was the first organization that I reached out to when the public libraries went down. Not only did they provide me with $2,000 worth of books to walk my neighborhood to give to all the little citizens, they provided books in Spanish as well, because I have some Spanish speaking families. Like, it was the most phenomenal thing that our community was able to do during the pandemic, to be a library, to supply little libraries, to just, it was exciting for us, but like, wow, $2,000 worth of books in this little community doing good work. We need help as a volunteer to do. So like, if you have the bandwidth, Harbor Fest is this weekend. I'm going to ask you to reach out to the reach.org and say, hey, I really want to volunteer. Dr. Jenny Goff is an amazing woman who is the executive director. We need the help. Pass the word along. What else I got? I love this. Okay, so remember I told y'all it takes a team to do this work, right? Every morning, Vince and I are in a document at like 5 or 5:30 in the morning, trying to figure out our notes, and they know that we love to educate, advocate, celebrate, and legislate. But he put an article in here, and Vince, I would love for you to drop the link for this article. Sleeping poorly can lead to heart problems, because I believe that you all are. It is our health that is our wealth, and I know that is cheesy, but I truly believe that. I need you all to take care of yourself because I need you in the movement, right? Selfishly. So let me just be selfish and say, I need you to take care of you so that we can take care of all of us. So I think he's going to drop that link in there about get your sleep, right? Know thyself. I know that I need 12 hours. I don't need no 12 hours. I need 5 hours of sleep to not be a grump, right? And to be fully functional. I'm making sure. I was going to talk about youth all day, but I haven't gotten to a place where I can talk about the school shootings from a place of without being upset, right? I haven't gotten there. I'm still really negotiating with myself about how that feels. Knowing that in the United States, since 2018, I think we've had 288 school shootings. But when we look at our other partners across the world, there have only been 5. I was watching some of the congressional testimony, and it is less embarrassing and more heartbreaking. And I'm going to pause on that because I have not gotten to a place where I can have conversations about this in a way that is productive and in line with how we want to do business from a place of with a growth mindset. Okay, so I'm going to shout this out again. If you missed the beginning, JT, our DJ Beats by JT, is looking for laptops. He is a 15-year-old music producer that is going to be putting on a summer camp for kids at 4 Kids that helps families with children experience homeless. We need some more laptops if y'all got them, like laptops that you're not using. I think he needs 4 or 5 more to be able to put on his summer camp program. If you have birthdays, new births, anniversaries, whatever, I need y'all to send those to me. I would love to shout those things out in the morning, especially if, do all of that good stuff. I want to do anniversary. Listen, we are a village. Village is a verb and it's an action, and give me that opportunity to say happy anniversary to your grandparents or to if you listen, all of that, right? So I'm going to start with that today. I'm going to say happy birthday to Miss Kim Sutter, who is on the Certified Doers team. Like, that is a beautiful thing. We love to celebrate another year around the sun. And we're so grateful to have people like you in our community. And so give me the chance to do that for your people. New babies, right? All of that good stuff. I think that's important as we start trying to build better place and space for our people. There's something that we love about this place that's undescribable, right? Norfolk is an amazing place to be. We choose it every single day. And I'm grateful and honored to be able to serve you in the state. Okay. So until next time, which would be Tuesday, hopefully we'll have some good news by then. Do not hesitate to reach out to the office. And I hope that you all are able to make it a great day. I'm Jackie Glass, Mama, Navy Vet, Certified Doer, your laced up legislator for the House of Delegates, 89th districts, just district. Enjoy the rest of enjoy your Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday holiday, and then I'll see you on Tuesday. Take care.